3 balls in, then we 3 balls out. We all up on your screens like it's prime time's route. Mighty gets the scoring. Oh, and PJ start to scout. Your rhymes really trash. What do you think he's damn fouls? TBI the show, so buckle down, sit back. And Jay we trust, cause he's the leader of the pack. It's prime, Jupiter.
This is TBI 3 balls in alongside Dave and Logan. This is PJ's. I can't believe we're towards the end of the season. This is one of our last episodes of the season. We got a few more left, but this show is going to be off the lid. I am super excited. But before we get there, let's talk about the snow game from 2 weeks ago. Dave-O and I both got to play in that game. Logan got to watch the drone footage done by Zin. Great job, Scoot.
Yeah, really appreciated the view from above.
And what Dave-O was, it's a good point. Little God's eye view right there. So here we are in that game, which was a messy game, which is what you expected this to know, but a really great competitive game. And Dave-O, being on your own team, you thought you were going to win your own, right?
Going into every game with your own, you think you're going to win. But
sometimes you do.
Yeah, he gets a win sometimes.
That game we happened to be, I think we had a big chance. The game went to overtime.
Yeah. Bert with a touchdown. Bert with a long pass catch after dropping one earlier.
But at end of the day,
by the way, our line, like all the guys that typically play line, had interceptions, which is unbelievable, and touchdowns.
End of the day, it was just a fantastic game. Again, I can reiterate this point that anyone who's never played in a Drew Ball snow game, you are missing the pinnacle of Drew Ball. It's literally the best game you can play. People get scared because it's tackle. They're afraid of injuries. I don't think we had any injuries or
no, we didn't.
Oh, thank God.
And it's literally the best time. Everyone gets off the field and everyone's just thrilled, so happy. And I was really happy I got to play. It's been like our first game in like 4 years.
It was great. Great to get snow. Great to have it out there. And again, good to be playing snow game.
It's the year of snow.
All right. Vets Rooks was last week. Skipping on ahead. Obviously, Prey got the win over your own in the snow game. But now shifting ahead to Vets Rooks championship. I would say maybe an underwhelming championship game. You would expect more hype from a Vets Rooks. But I think the tournament style first round matchups, I think, are kind of more exciting than the actual game itself. Am I wrong by stating that?
Well, you only played in the first round, so maybe you are.
Wow. At least I showed up and played. But yeah, Dave-O, do you agree or disagree to that? The first round matchups are a little more exciting.
I personally feel that Vets Rooks has lost its sparkle. I feel that it's just kind of it used to be something that people look forward to. Now I think it's kind of just something that's when we're getting past in next game. You know what's happening.
So with that said, do we think maybe we should shift it to the best 9 vets, the best 9 rooks, and just maybe have like a captain style thing when you take 2 captains and you just
it doesn't have to be 9, by the way. It could be the best 12 or 14, even like
whatever. Or maybe you have a set offense, set defense. Where guys,
I'm with you. I think it needs to move more towards an all-star type of game,
right?
And captains get to pay. It's not a right to play. It is a privilege to play, and whether you don't meet the number of game requirements or you just don't get picked, or like that is what it is. If you get asked to play only defense, you only play defense. You get asked to play offense. Like I think that would A, make it more competitive. B, it would make people hungrier to be on that team, as opposed to just like another lackluster Sunday that kind of has lost some of its flair.
For sure.
Let me ask you a question. Which has more problems, the NBA All-Star Game or Vets Rooks?
Yes.
Oh, the NBA All-Star Game for sure. They have a lot more problems than Vets Rooks. At least Vets Rooks is a low-scoring game. At least you know both teams are playing.
Both got drone coverage.
That's true. All right. Anyways, let's shift from there. Obviously, congratulations to the Rooks. 3rd year in a row, winning the game, winning the Classic, we should say. And listen, Shirley Dax in these games, he's unbeatable. That's what it comes down to. Big games. He's a big game quarterback. Got a rushing touchdown, threw one to Stats, threw one to Zin. A 3-1 victory. Beast had the touchdown, obviously, for your own. At the end of the day, they were the better team. They were the better roster. They were the better talent. And they win. Right? Enough said?
Enough said.
All right, let's shift into this week's games, which we actually recapped, or I shouldn't say recap, we previewed 2 weeks ago. So if you're not sure what we said 2 weeks ago, you can go back to the previous episode. And by the way, all the rosters we mentioned in that episode, yeah, you know what? You can kind of just throw it all out because we have no clue who's playing this Sunday. We just know games are happening. We know that Bop is playing.
Maybe.
Well, Bop versus, come on, Davo.
Oh, it's Bob's dog, but maybe the game happens, maybe it doesn't.
And then we
don't know.
And then we know it's
No, Cronies versus Lionheart.
No.
Crocs versus Cobras.
Right, that game's not happening.
Well, no,
I
that
can't.
game. I don't even think between both teams they have a full team.
And then finally, the game we mentioned, the game of the week, we should say maybe the only game the guys should
I mean, it's
play.
the game of the week because it's the game.
You have
This week.
Lionhearts versus Cronies. For the most part, the players that we said were playing are playing, but Cronies are going to be without Open and are going to be without Gronk and possibly without Zada. For your own side, he's got no Danny, no Rabin, and no Stats. So both teams coming in with not their regular players. And of course, Crony is already undermanned without Gronk. This should be an interesting matchup. Remember, Yaron is down 2 touchdowns to start the game. Because remember, it's a tie goes to the Cronies, 12 points go to the Cronies, anything more than that goes to Lionheart. So it should be a fun Sunday. Hopefully these games do get played and it's a fun matchup. All right, let's shift from there. Davo, bring us to what we're all been waiting for, this exciting announcement you have for all of Jubal.
Oh, thank you, PJs. Basically, behind the scenes, what you guys don't know is that I come up with a lot of crazy ideas. That part you do know.
Oh,
What
God, I
you
was like-
don't know is that some of them are actually semi kind of brilliant. This might not be one of them, but we're gonna do it anyways. We have worked quite hard. It was not an easy process. You gathered evidence, game footage, stats, common knowledge, common sense, and we have actually come up with the Jubal All-Star Team 2023-2024 season. Now, before we display the graphic,
Dun, dun,
it's
dun.
not going to be there because before we display it, we had some parameters to be qualified for this selection. The first thing is you had to play a minimum of 10 games. That did leave some people off the list.
I mean, a classic example: Gronk only played 9, so he's not going to. Regardless of health, he only played 9, so he's not going to make the list.
Mayer only played 1, so listen, some people got left off the list. You can only be picked for one position now, even though you could have qualified for multiple positions, be it at wide receiver, linebacker, defensive end, tight end, cornerback, etc. You were only able to be picked once, not once on the offense, once on the defense, just once in total.
The idea being is that in a perfect world, we would love to see these two teams match up. And if you have Zinn playing 12 positions like that, this never will happen. Whereas here,
I mean, he does for
correct, but right, I guess that's true. Him and Robinson could just fill out 2 full teams. But this way, you could theoretically, and I know it'll never happen, but theoretically have both teams line up against each other, and you wouldn't have any problems with which team am I playing on.
So without further ado, we will get into it. Let's break it down.
All right, Davo. So let's start with offense. And leading the offense at quarterback is none other than
He's my QB. He's the QB of all of our hearts. It is not Shirley Dax, but it does go to Mr. Shalom Prager. Fantastic season this year. You know, it was a close race, but at the end of the day, Prey leading with 57 touchdowns, 24 interceptions. That's greater than 2-1. He's just been fantastic. He's tied for lead in rushing touchdowns as well in the QB position. He's leading 5-0 Bop team, and he's just having a fantastic all-around MVP caliber season. To me, hands down, Prey.
okay. Let's shift now to the guys who are blocking for Prey. Logan, who is offensive lineman number 1.
Talking about what I would call a no-brainer here. None other than Open. He's a first round pick. He dominates the line. He obviously can snap the ball without any problems. Open was a no-brainer to be our first offensive lineman.
Offensive lineman number 2, Logan.
Offensive lineman number 2, and a fan favorite, or a favorite of mine, if you will, it's the Big O. I don't know anyone who doesn't like the Big O. I think everyone appreciates the Big O, but he's a guy who is really, really tough to get around. He's got those long arms, big body. He's been doing it for years. He knows all of the tricks. So Big O is our second lineman in this All-Star team.
And what's beautiful is that either one of them can shift to tight end, and either one of them can snap. Like, they're great snappers also.
Correct.
So great job there. Okay, guys. Wide receiver number 1, Davo.
This doesn't come as a shock. The wide receivers this season have been fantastic. A lot of really good candidates, but it is the one and only Scoot. Zin has been fantastic. Started off a little slower this season. Hasn't been in as many games, and then all of a sudden he's taken off. And he does what he does best, and that's freakishly athletic things that defy the laws of sense. And Zin is the best receiver in Jubal, and he is wide receiver 1.
Okay. Logan, wide receiver number 2.
Yeah, another first round pick, and I think that'll be a theme, which makes a lot of sense. Another first round pick. This is quite possibly our best slot receiver, our best route runner in the league. He has a connection with a lot of quarterbacks, obviously one that he's been playing with for longer than others, but he has great chemistry with every quarterback. He always seems to find the open slot. Our second wide receiver is Dax.
Yeah, definitely. Wide receiver number 3, Davo.
Well, this is, again, I don't think it's a shocker to a lot of people, but it is the start of the rookie revolution that will come to the selections, and that is, I think, the front runner and just all around fantastic. Another first round pick in Ionio, the Iceman. Coming off the scene again, like you said, first round pick, rookie season, 15 touchdowns in 14 games. Fantastic speed, size, power, aggression. Just literally will run you over to get a touchdown. Sorry, Bray. Ionio makes the list.
Logan, wide receiver number 4.
With number 4, and just to be clear, he didn't run him over to get a touchdown. He got a touchdown, but ran over him to run over.
Ran to
like,
him.
just to be clear,
Ran to him just to bowl him
right,
over.
That was not a to get a touchdown. That was to run over him. Our last wide receiver is, again, as Davo alluded to, leading our rookie class, is someone who, while I don't think we're surprised that we've seen a ton of productivity over this season. Obviously, he's a rookie, so this is the only season. But our wide receiver number 4, rounding out the entire offense, is none other than the Sheriff.
2 fantastic rookies, not just only players, but guys all in general.
Yep, agreed.
Both bring a lot to Jubal.
Guys, that is a scary offense, but they're now going to go up against the all-star defense, being led by, as the captain of the defense as safety, is none other than who, Davo?
It's none other than Mighty Mouse. I know a couple of you think, why is he not a receiver? Mighty is one of the top safeties in the league. He's been playing fantastic. He helps run all the defenses. He's the only person to actually have a higher than 1 interception to game ratio. He has 14 interceptions in 13 games. Playing fantastic. He's all over the field. And he brings a tremendous amount of stability to the back end on this defense.
All right. Let's shift now to the line. Going up against Open and O, the defensive line, Logan.
We're going to talk about someone who's had a phenomenal season. And this is someone that we've praised on this show numerous times, who this year specifically has taken his game up a notch or 2. It is none other than someone that we've been raving about, Legs.
And at defensive line number 2, Logan.
A second defensive lineman is a player who has, I would say, last season might have struggled slightly, just learning some ins and outs of Jew ball and getting accustomed to some of the guys on the line. But this season has come back, taken us by storm, and has been playing first round type level of football. None other than DK.
Wow. Shifting now to the linebackers, Davo. Give me linebacker number 1.
Well, it's time to get a little bit spicy here. And this linebacker is the hardest one to choose, in my opinion. It's not a very stat-heavy position. People, sometimes they'll jump on the line, sometimes they'll rush as a third, sometimes they'll drop back. Sometimes they'll just be in coverage, sometimes they'll be as a spy. So it's not a very heavily stat-driven position, but in my opinion, it's one of the most important. I think it really controls the center of the defense. Like I said, let's get spicy. And even though we've had a lot of beef, I've got to go give it to Zada. I don't think there is many, if any, Drew Bowler that is better than Zada in his stability. He's always there. He's always making the right place. He's always grabbing flags. He's a constant that you would just love to have next to you, behind you, in front of you. Any which way you can get Zada, try to get him, hop on board, and go have fun.
Okay. Linebacker number 2, Davo.
Linebacker number 2. This is a guy who started off his career more of as a lineman. He's gotten, as Peaches like to say, he's gotten bigger in the past. But this is a guy who's been doing a lot of things that he doesn't normally do this year. And that goes to none other than Josh Dobbs.
It's interesting because most players shift from linebacker to linemen. Very rarely do you see the shift work the other way. Again, a lot of it has to do with age or speed and things like that. But I would say this year, more than any other year, he has transformed into a premier linebacker.
He's been fantastic. Like I said, he's shifted back, so his stats are still, his sacks are down a little bit, but he's
That's just a product of getting older.
Oh yeah, but his sack rate is still great. He's got 4 picks this season. He's been playing all over the field. Great flag grabber. And I think this guy is underlooked in his position, but he really plays fantastically. Dobby, I got to give it up to you.
All right, shifting over to the corner position, Logan, a position you play very well. Who is cornerback number 1 on the defensive all-star team?
This will probably come to no shock to anyone. This is someone who you could debate whether this is his rookie year or was last year's rookie year, but one way or the other, this is his first full year as part of Jew ball. This is someone who really takes defenses seriously, and I really appreciate that. And it is none other than what I would consider to be a rookie, BK.
Have it your way.
Davo announced the last player of the all-star team, the all-pro defensive Jew ball team at cornerback number 2. Who is that man? Or is it a man?
Well, he's the man, the myth, the legend, the wizard. Steve-O Island, the wizard, however you want to throw it down, however you want to call him. Talk about a guy who's a team player. He, plays his position very well, very tight. Big bowl guy game. Big.
He steps up. He plays well in championship. He's played in championship games. He's played in playoff games. He's the kind of guy who, when you need a big play on defense, he'll be there always.
He's always consistent. He knows what he does well. He gets there. He gets to his spots. He might not come away with a lot of picks, but he'll get a lot of tips, a lot of knockdowns, passes defended. Fantastic overall player. Lockdown, Steve-O Island. You make the list.
All right, gentlemen. This is the list. This is the all-pro team. And okay, let's move into it, Davo. You have some breaking news for us. As we get to the end of the season, there is some league-leading awards that you want to go over so we can keep watch of this final Sunday.
If you watch Michael K, they have Tiger Watch. Here we go, Stat Watch. Okay, we have 2 ties in statistical categories, and we have 3 ties actually. 3 categories, 3 ties. Rushing touchdowns. 1 game left. Yaron, Prey, each tied at 4. Now
Could you imagine if Yaron wins the rushing touchdown leader this season? That'd be the most. He probably was 1,000 to 1.
By the way, now that he knows that, we can game plan the cronies. I would know that Yaron, anytime in a goal line situation, he will try
from the 11.
He will try to run it exactly.
his 11.
His 11. Yeah.
Okay. Now let's get into a little bit more of a controversial one. The sack king. This is not the sack. Oh, this is just the sack king. We have a tie. DK versus Kuti, both tied at 43.
Wow.
Fantastic seasons for both.
Sounds like they both played Bert 6 times.
Hence the controversy. But it's all going to come down to this final game. We'll see what happens with DK and Kuti. We'll see what happens if leagues happen, if a game happens. We could potentially end up with a tie here.
Curious, how many games do each of them have? Do you know?
So DK has 20 and Kuti has 19.
Wow.
So
it's very, very close.
Very, very
you know.
Yeah.
It's neck and neck. Now, here is.
I might say it's ball and ball, but yes.
Hey, listen, that's how you get some sacks, right? Now, touchdown. So there are 2 categories in the touchdowns that I look at. There are receiving touchdowns and there are total touchdowns. Now, Zin is ahead by 1 in the receiving touchdowns. He has 19, Morty has 18, Mighty has 18. Zin has 13, Morty has 14 games, and Mighty has 13 games.
So basically, right there.
But if you look at total touchdowns, now that includes receiving touchdowns, pick sixes, and rushing touchdowns. They are all 3 of them tied at 21.
Shut up. And we've never had this before. 3 guys tied in this category.
So 3 guys, and they're all on different teams. And the randomizer cannot kill this one.
Wow.
Because these players are playing somewhere in games already. So 3 games, 3 players, 3 opportunities to take home the touchdown.
How many of them, of the 3, let's just think about the touchdown leaders, how many of them do you think knew this going into this week or prior to watching this show?
Well, Mighty will tell you he had no clue.
Well, Mighty only cares about W's.
Right.
Probably
but
none
Zin
of them.
for sure knew.
No,
knows.
Zin probably
Zin
doesn't
for
know.
sure knows.
Zin doesn't know, but the second this episode airs, he's gonna get a text from Spira, where Spira's gonna say some things. But yeah, again, so possible ties can happen. Crazy end of the season battle in all 3 of these categories, and it's gonna be a fun watch on this.
Okay, something to look forward to. Jeez. Final Sunday of the season before playoffs. This is heating up here for these awards.
But don't you guys worry. This is not the final TBI episode.
Oh no, we've still got
more
brain damage.
Preview.
We got a lot more brain damage to cause.
Championship preview. We got draft preview.
Don't forget the final episode of the award ceremony of the season, and with the championship team maybe coming live on TBI to do a little interviewing.
Couch ain't big enough for the whole team, but
Live from Doma.
See what we get.
Live from Doma, exactly. They're paying for us.
Has to pay, exactly.
All right, Davo, what should they do this week?
Don't forget to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. As well, Sick Play, it's underway. Guys, it's a great initiative. Even if you didn't sign up, if you feel there's some way you can help out people.
Or if you'd like to just tag along with one of the groups already going, like the more the merrier. Reach out to either Jordan or like I said,
or any of the sick player on the list,
or just take a walk over there yourself.
Yeah.
But again, it's a great initiative, and thank you, Jordan, again for putting it together. There is potentially a sign up. We're not sure if there is
for Sunday.
Yeah. If there is, this is the last official week 20 of Jew Ball.
Wow.
We're very sad to see it come and go. As always,
what are we?
You're 3 balls in.
We are now 3 balls out. Have a great weekend, everybody.
We all up on your screens like it's prime time sprout.